Mr. Policeman, why you wanna holler at me? I just wanna drop my jiggle it down to the floor. Hey, Mr. Policeman, I don't want no trouble. I just wanna drop my jiggle it down to the floor. Hey, Mr. Policeman, why you wanna holler at me? I just wanna drop my jiggle it down to the floor.
Hi everybody, my name is Rachel from Blade Outlaws. We'd like to thank Turtle Mode FPV for sponsoring our video. Please be sure to check out the 7-inch heavy metal spec racing frame on turtlemodefpv.com and the YouTube channel at Turtle Mode FPV. Thank you!
Got me stuck on you. Got me stuck on you. Got me stuck on you. Got me stuck on you, stuck on you, stuck on. Got me stuck on you, stuck on, stuck on, stuck on, stuck on you, stuck on. Got me stuck on you. Got me stuck.
Hello, hey guys, how's it going? So, can you guys hear me at all? You got audio? Uh-oh, I can't hear you guys. I don't have audio from you two, so I don't know what's going on. Let's see here. Anything? You guys there? Nope, no audio. Hold on. There we go. We got one.
How's it going?
How's it going? Dude, I think
Good,
we're having
good.
it's just like a Monday over here. Everybody's having
Yeah.
issues with their computers and everybody forgot what was going on. Rupert, is yours working? I can't hear you, boss. Your mic is muted somewhere. But I got Seth too. He's telling me that his computer is like not working, I guess. He was putting some new I don't even know some component in it, and like he booted it on right before the stream, and like he was like, I gotta go, and he turned it off right away. So I'm guessing he had some issues or something.
That's never good.
No. So I guess we'll wait for Rupert to interject at some point, and Seth will join us at some point, maybe if his computer doesn't burst into flames. So how have you been in the meantime? Have you been flying at all? Have you been doing anything?
I've been pretty good. I haven't been doing too much flying lately. Actually, I just been busy with other stuff. I got a cat that's 19 years old. That's kind of she's still doing all right, but she's needing a little bit of extra care. So that's been taking some of my time lately, kind of tending to her a little bit. But I launched some new arms for my original X-frame. I added some shorter ones.
Yeah, I saw that.
A little bit more durable.
Yeah, nice. So they're how much shorter are they? It's still considered a 7-inch, or like?
It's still a 7-inch. Yeah, the old arms were Source One V3 arms, and those will actually swing up to like an 8-inch propeller. They'll do like a 7.5 comfortably, and an 8 if you really want to. But the new ones will just barely do a 7. I cut, I think, 2 centimeters off of the Source One V3 arms. So,
okay.
Taking 2 centimeters off and still fit in the 7-inch prop. I could have actually got them a little bit closer to the quad, but if you get them any closer, like the prop tips start hitting each other.
Oh, whoa!
There's only like 6 millimeters between the prop tips now. So
that's a
unless
weird
you
problem.
wanted to overlap them, they're pretty much at the minimum now.
Yeah, that's a weird problem to have. I've never even thought about the props hitting each other. Like,
yep.
Gosh.
That becomes more of a problem the bigger your prop disc is, you know.
Oh yeah. That's cool. Anything else new with the store? Looking at new product? Thinking about buying like more props? I know you were talking about like adding some props to the store at some point. But
yeah, I am going to be doing some ordering of that right now. I'm actually thinking I'm going to do a box for. Have you heard of the Roto Hazard project?
No.
So racers all used immersion RC lap timers, which was like kind of a commercial product for years, but they just kind of stopped making them. They're really hard to get, and if you can get them, they're really expensive. So recently, probably within the last couple of years here, some group called Roto Hazard started developing like an open source circuit board thing to do race timing. And, it started out like as like a breadboard Frankenstein thing. And then they got to the next level where they were printing empty PCBs that were ready to like solder all these components to. And now it's getting to the point where some guy has kind of more of a polished PCB board that you just buy a Raspberry Pi and you just plug this Pi into this. Actually, I got it right here. I should show you.
So you're just kind of making your own lap timer is kind of what you're saying.
So this is a Raspberry Pi, which is just a mini computer. Yeah. And then this guy builds this thing. He calls himself Nuclear Quad. So this is as I don't know if you can read it on there.
I can't read it. It's hard to see.
He calls it his nuclear hazard core, or his nuclear hazard lap timer.
Yeah.
Off the Roto Hazard lap timer project. So he designed this like PCB and is having them manufactured, and you can buy them from him on his Etsy website. So I just recently bought this board, and these are analog. They're like analog video modules. So that's what senses your quad go by, and they'll sense digital systems too. So you take his board and this Raspberry Pi's got those pins. It just kind of pins together. And you have a race timer. You copy and paste their code onto it, and it just works. And it'll.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, actually. But they 3D print plastic boxes, the housing for this case. So I was thinking about doing a metal one, just make it a little bit more tough. And there's issues with them being almost too sensitive. So people are putting them in like a metal bucket or something to like tone down the sensitivity.
Yeah.
So a metal case would sort of suit that purpose anyways.
It would help direction it, so it's just right above it almost.
Yeah, that's the thing. You want it to sense it when the quads go through the gate, but you don't want it to be sensing
anything around it.
Random stray stuff that's not right there. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like the 3D printed cases, there aren't like a lot of great ones, and then that's not super tough. So when you're putting that thing right on the starting line, you got to protect it somehow anyways.
Yeah
It's just kind of, they're growing in popularity, and I just see that as like a product that nobody else is gonna make. I don't know, with my metal background, that seemed like something I might be interested in doing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So Seth, you just joined us. Sorry, I didn't mean to add you as you are coming into a conversation, but how's it going with you?
It's going.
Oh my gosh!
I think I got my computer stuff.
You have audio this time. Hope the woman's dropping in your background there.
I think I got it figured out. Just got my new GPU thrown in right before, so I don't know.
Was that thing like $1,000?
Yes.
Jeez.
I first booted up. I had the same issues I was having. I did a couple of updates, and so far it's okay. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I'm running a game to see if it's gonna cut out anything.
During the podcast, you're running a game. Right now, my computer can't even handle the podcast. I just checked I was having overheating issues before. My computer is at like 127 degrees Fahrenheit, and then my CPU is loaded at 55% running this. It's like, I can't even think about running, let alone another window in a game. Like,
you should probably look into that PC I sent you.
You've been helping me with that. I just gotta.
I don't think I'd want to try it on my computer running anything else either.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. This computer is getting so old, but I
have this computer I put way too much money into.
Yeah.
Funny thing is about this one though, I built it.
I gotta jump off for just a second here. I got someone at my door.
Oh, all good.
I built it once before, completely different parts, and I had this USB issue where it just randomly disconnect all my peripherals, like my mic, my keyboard, my mouse, camera, whenever I wanted to, while I was in the middle of a game. So I replaced the motherboard, I replaced the power supply, I replaced all my RAM, and now I just replaced my graphics card. So that's basically the whole computer, besides my CPU.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of troubleshooting stuff I've been going through. And
sorry about that.
All good. Oh, we got a bunch of chat messages. I don't know what Rachel Wright. I don't know what that. Dude, I didn't. Remember that guy that chatted last time? How do I hide that? That was trying to talk to us last time. I couldn't find his email address or his contact info, so that was rough. Looks like Rupert is having issues. He said he's just gonna keep chiming in on there.
See, it wasn't only me.
Yeah. Try to join again, Rupert. See if you can get back in. He just was having issues with his mic, but last time I thought he was just not hitting the right button. Remember that happened to us before?
Right.
Yeah, there was a couple audio issues that last time too.
Yeah. Well, when you get 4 people trying to synchronize their old computers, it's like Seth's the only one with a good computer. He's the one that should be hosting this crap.
Your stream works pretty good, man. I've seen some pretty sketchy streams before.
Yeah.
Some of those take quite a while to smooth the bumps out of.
Oh yeah.
I watched some of like when the Quad Mafia was kind of getting their stream going there, and they got it going pretty smooth now. But some of those early episodes, boy, it was just like rough.
Yeah. I pay for a program now that he's rejoining in on his phone. Hey, dude. I can hear you. Dude, it's better video quality than your last computer you were using.
Probably got a good cam on that.
Yeah, dude. Your phone's going to overheat like crazy now. Your phone might have to be close for us to hear
I think I need a charger, actually.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now we get to see your house. No.
Yep. I'm going to take you guys on a tour.
There we go. So, Seth, have you been flying this? Okay, so we're all from Wisconsin, right? So the weather has been absolutely crap. Seth, you can explain what the weather's been like. What has the weather been like in the last week?
Wet. Snow.
Snow. Okay, that's what I wanted you to say. Snow.
It is wet.
It's spring and it's snowing like crazy. We had a blizzard like 2 days ago, was it?
It was terrible.
Dude, I lost power
Tuesday.
for 8 hours, which I shouldn't complain because there's other people that lost power longer, but
I worked a 38-hour shift during that snowstorm. The longest shift I've ever worked in my life.
Yeah. That's insane.
It was fun. It was intense.
That was the first time this winter I got my snowblower out. I was actually kind of not happy to be out there doing it, but happy to get some gas through it because it's just been sitting there without running for a year.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. It's like we get the worst snowstorm in spring.
Right. Ironically.
But so I mean, I haven't been flying much. I went camping with my family for Rachel says bye. She's at work right now. She's on her break. So we went camping like the last weekend before the snowstorm. And it was like, I mean, it was cold that night. We had a heater in our tent and everything like that. So it wasn't like cold. But then just to think like, oh, we were just camping 2 days ago and now it's just blizzard outside and you can't even walk outside because there's 2 feet of snow almost.
Right.
It's crazy. So, but
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the spring goes now. You know, we got so lucky over winter. You could just see it being like a terrible cold spring payback. You know?
Yep. So, and it's probably gonna be wet like crazy. Do you guys conformal coat your drones? I only have my my tiny whoops conformal coated, not my 5 inches.
Oh, I've got all of mine done with a worry free actually.
Yeah, that's just conformal coating. It's just FPV branded one.
Yeah. I think it works better though than that MG Chemicals actually. So it's a little bit thicker when you put it on. So
okay,
that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I typically don't. Sometimes like the ESCs I buy come pre-conformal coated, but I'm probably gonna start because those Street League guys are crazy and they'll race like in a tornado. You know, I mean, they don't care.
Yeah, that's crazy. I just started doing the tiny whoops because one time I was flying around in my apartment and Rachel was cooking and she was boiling water. And I don't know what happened, but I hit something. And then next thing I know, I was right in the boiling bowl of water on the stove. And like, let alone it was salt water too. So like it instantly fried out. It was instantly screwed. I'm like, fuck. So I've been conformal coating all of them since then, but
I've seen some survive that went like, we watched some guys go right in the river and it was nice and cold, you know? Stood on the bank, taking photos, making fun of them going in there. But he dried her out and it fired right back up again.
I made that mistake myself one year. It wasn't conformal coated, but I mean, as long as you shut her down and unplug it underwater, and then
that's
what
I've
heard is a big thing. Try to unplug it.
Keep it underwater. Yeah, and it's like pure water doesn't conduct a lot of electricity, but like it's the minerals that are in water. So like even flying in rain, relatively isn't too bad. I've noticed. I've had drones flying in the rain that aren't conformal coated and never had an issue.
Yeah.
I've flown in kind of sketchy conditions. Sometimes at race I've flown in drizzle where I'll throw some electrical tape around it or something, and that's usually good enough.
Yeah. Well, your drone's already like encased already too. You have
that
housing around it.
It does protect them quite a bit, so it doesn't take a lot to seal it up a little bit.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, I wouldn't want to do it in like a really hard rain though, without the coating. It seems like the guys in Street League, their cameras suffer more than anything else, though. They struggle to not be able to seal it up so the humidity doesn't get like actually inside the camera.
Yep. I've had that problem before, and I've accidentally put conformal coating on one of my lenses on one of my run cams way back in the day, and obviously that just junks it out right away. But it's the seal where the lens is and the sensor. It's really hard. You can't get conformal coating on that, but you have to try to seal it somehow. So I think it's almost impossible to do. That's why, like, there's a lot of companies, like Darwin has that waterproof drone that like lands in the water and takes off. I don't know if you've ever seen that thing.
Yeah,
but like, everything's encased though. Like that's how they waterproofed it, was encasing it.
The videos on that were hilarious, actually. Some of them when it came out.
Well, and everybody was complaining about that thing overheating. It's like, well, no, it's going to overheat. It's all waterproofed and encased up, like. But I don't know. It's still kind of funny.
Oh, my buddy down in Alabama, I asked him if he ever has issues in the summer with worry-free and his drone's overheating, and he says he's like, I've never had a problem with it, and he goes, it gets up to 110 down here.
Yeah,
that's actually surprising, man. So I've never really flown them in
kind
the
of
summertime
views
formal coatings.
Temperature from that. I was going to ask you, like,
coating.
What's the symptoms of like the Darwin overheating? Does it actually die from it? Or is it just problematic or like video?
Problematic, and like if you put HD video in it, like the O3 air unit in it, that just goes into thermal shutoff. I heard.
Yeah, so it's more a video issue than like it's not like ESCs burning up or nothing like that.
No, I mean Darwin has kind of crappy electronics to begin with, so
I could see more. Like I wouldn't see the ESC burning up anyway. I would see more of the flight controller getting warm and just everything kind of just flickering out. You know what I mean?
See, I don't know. Like the reason I ask that is I've just seen like kind of people are shy about pods on Facebook. You know, like and the comment is you're gonna like fry your ESC because that ESC is not gonna cool well enough, and I just don't find that to be a real issue in my experience. But you know,
right.
I've only done it from like pushing my motors super hard. You know,
I've burned up ESCs from like bad props and like
that,
bent motor bells that have bad vibrations and not really aware of it. You know, that's probably what kills them more than anything.
So when I was camping, I went and just flew the Pablo Pico around, and this was the first time I was able to like fly HD in like a crazy tree-filled environment. That was a lot of fun because, like, you know, analog, you'd have issues with ghost branches. I can't even ghost branches like crazy, and like this was not even that. This was not the case with the Pablo Pico. Like I was just cruising around the craziest brush and like around all these really tight trees and everything, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, I've heard that's a really fun drone to fly, and I've seen some really cool videos with that thing. It's smooth.
Like it's not so much like freestyle. You can do flips with it, but it kind
of as far as cinematic and smoothness,
And honestly, just cruising around and having just fun with it, getting low to the ground and everything is fun. Like it's a whole nother part of it. So I'm not really against just like just level flying through a field and stuff, unless it's like a really scenic environment. But like that was fun.
That's beta FPV, right?
Yeah, that's beta FPV.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that one.
The problem is with that thing is you got a $230 camera on it, and then it's $110 drone, and then you have like a $15 battery. So you almost have $400 in a 75 millimeter or whatever it is tiny whoop.
Does
that just blows my mind. Yeah, it has an 03 in it.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So you can actually do some like real cinematic stuff with that.
Yeah, it does 4K. I have a bunch of videos on my YouTube with it already, but they're on the Blade Outlaw channel. But yeah, this
rock
is it.
steady. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know why the camera angle's messed up, but yeah, it's awesome. And like I've honestly like crashed this thing pretty hard before trying to freestyle, and like I only broke a frame and bent some props. When the props get bent a little bit, it adds jello to the video. But I mean, it's the thing's this small and it's going a million miles an hour. Like, of course, you're gonna have jello and bent prop, but
you can get jello with Rocksteady on though. Like, does it really show that much?
Oh yeah, it's bad. You can hear
I
like
suppose though you get those hoops over it or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
And like, I mean, I've had it where the prop is so slightly bent, and the whole drone is just shuddering like crazy itself too. Okay. So I don't know. I just don't. It kind of baffles me a little bit because the Meteor 65 that I fly all the time, those props, like I've bent back so many times, I've messed them up so bad. I've had nicks out of them, and it flies amazing pretty much every time. You don't really notice them too much. Is
the Pavo a pusher, or is it?
Yeah, technically, yeah,
okay.
It's a pusher. Yeah, it flies like this with the props.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, so, pusher style. Yep, that might be why the difference in style is there. You know.
Yeah, and the weight that it's carrying. I mean, it's
it's got that heavy O3.
Yeah, this is 22 grams, and this is I think just at 100 flying weight.
So. Yeah, that's a heavy unit on there.
Yeah.
I've never flown the O3 yet, so I don't really know much about it. I was gonna get into the Moonlight though.
They got a new one coming out pretty soon here. It sounds like I heard some leaks about.
Well, they have that new drone that came out, so I'm sure they have a new, video transmitter system.
Walks now.
Yeah, my stepson just
sorry
if you hear stuff in the background. Coming to
that infra. I think it's the InfraCam one. Yeah.
Well, DJI just released a new one though.
The 04. Yeah.
Did they release an 04 or I thought they released a new drone?
Oh, they're
it's in the like a Vata 2 or
04 right now.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll have to watch the leaks on that.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're going to have to buy the new goggles, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Goggles too.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I'm still a couple, I don't know.
The Integra 2.
I still totally like the V1s and the V2s. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think the 03 is probably better and nicer, but I'm not ready to buy into that system until my other one goes bad, or is broken or whatever.
Right.
But we'll see.
How much the 04 is going to be.
If the 04 gets way better, video quality or whatever, maybe it'll sell me.
I wonder how much that's going to be too. I mean, the 03 is pretty expensive.
Dude, the 03 is $220.
They're not cheap, right?
Yeah, I want to buy more of them and stuff, but I was gonna get ready to do it, but then I heard that there was a new drone being released from DJI, and I'm like, I guarantee there's gonna be an 04 sometime this year then.
Oh, the FPV
so I was like, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
The Avata 2 or whatever.
Well, they have an FPV 2 coming out too.
Jeez.
Yeah, the turtle. They just sleeked it up a little bit. It's actually kind of funny looking. It's still plastic though.
Yeah.
So, it's more of a cinematic drone, I guess. That's what I would use it for. I mean, you got a camera on a gimbal. I guess that's the best thing about it,
Right.
How tough is the Avata? I mean, that thing seems like it's a lot tougher than the original one.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty thick frame and everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they show it doing like turtle mode and everything like that too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen people doing freestyle with that one actually, and the videos were pretty decent. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. That one just has that weird yaw issue. If you put it into too high a G forces and a yaw turn, all of a sudden it can flop out of the air.
Yeah.
It's not a good artifact. Not a good experience.
Yeah, I plan on.
But that thing's cool. It flies nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seth and I plan on meeting up and doing some flying tomorrow because he hasn't been out too much, and I have to solder up his drone and his camera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it mounted, but it's not wired up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring the Pavo Pico though, so you can fly HD sometime. Try it out.
Hey, Seth, I've got
so
some
easy to fly.
Some practice solder boards if you want them, and they're actually made by iFlight, so they have what you would have on a flight controller, and ESC.
You're
more than welcome to have them.
All right.
Do you have an iron, Seth?
I have my butane one. I have to get a regular one.
Dude, I'm gonna give you my old solder iron.
Okay.
I have that $100 solder iron.
I'll give them to Teddy when I drop off my footage when I come back into town.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you that solder iron. It needs a new tip. I wanted to say that right away. So you're gonna have to. You can try to make that one work. It still kind of works. It's just kind of boogered up. Right. But you can get a tip for $15, but it's still $100 solder iron. I bought a really nice whole stand, and you probably saw it on Facebook. But it has like a bunch of tips and everything, so I'm just gonna get rid of the $100 one anyways. So you can have it. I'll bring it with me tomorrow. But I'll also, like I was saying, I'll bring the Pavo Pico so you can fly HD a little bit. That'll be a new experience because you've been flying analog this whole time.
Right.
We'll keep it in level mode and everything else just to kind of, keep the training wheels on, but you don't really need them. So have you been flying like at all since we flew last when you were over here? Yeah, I
have been.
And you've been flying just with no gyro, no help, no assist?
Yeah, everything turned off.
Yep. How was landing? Okay, so this is like
my landing
I love asking
sucks,
people this question.
But it's gotten better.
Yeah.
I've been trying to practice with turning the gyro on and then landing it, but I'm also leading myself off of it right away.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that just don't, get off that pacifier pretty fast, because you'll end up doing that all the time, and not everybody's drone is going to have, that mode on it. I know mine, like, all my 5 inches, like, I have the accelerometer turned off, everything, so there's no way of even putting a gyro on, unless I plugged it back into the computer, so.
Right.
Accelerometer and barometer, turn them both off.
You have a barometer? See,
yep.
my stuff's so old it doesn't even have a barometer.
But I don't understand why they put the barometers on. It's really
it just sounds like another crap
like
thing to break.
Thing or something.
Yeah.
I heard they're a nightmare, man, to figure out. Like, somebody else was talking about it, and it's just pointless. So I think I was talking to Superfly about it, and he's a developer.
Yeah.
I've heard they had a lot of issues with magnetometers on the GPS too.
Yeah.
Somebody. Can't remember.
I don't know if that's for compass settings or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not necessary for most of your GPS navigation, whatever it is, though. They say, like, you're better off just avoid it unless you really absolutely need magnetometer.
Yeah. Just, again, to me, it just sounds like more shit to break when you crash.
Exactly.
So just turn that stuff off. Back in the day when I first started doing this hobby, the 7-year-old flight controllers that were just kind of coming out, you could have like a decent, like, I would say like a decent crash and be okay with the accelerometer if you're flying with it. I remember like when I was learning, I flew in gyro mode for a long time, and or horizon mode, I guess you'd say. But if you had like a concrete landing or like a sudden stop landing, it instantly screwed up the accelerometer, and like I could never fix it again. I tried calibrating it and all that stuff, and like I went through flight controllers like crazy, and that's finally when I was like, I'm learning to fly without these freaking accelerometers because this is getting out of control.
Yeah.
And I think they've gotten a lot more durable nowadays. The drones don't wig out as much as they used to. But, and fail safes, dude. Like you guys have it so easy nowadays. Because like,
I flew a FR Sky for a little while, and like, I can't believe how the plane people still swear by that stuff,
dude,
man.
I don't know.
God.
I was flying.
That's like a fail safe about 5 feet in front of your face,
I was flying Spectrum, dude. That's even worse than FR Sky. FR Sky was the upgrade from Spectrum.
I fly, my track where I fly is really at an AMA field. They were there before the drone stuff, and they're, it's a big AMA field, and everyone either, like 90% of them fly Spectrum, and a few of them fly FR Sky, but there's a couple of them now that have touched on Express LRS, I think. But interestingly, as the club, they do a training program. And even though they're not really using Express LRS themselves, they're looking at switching the training planes to Express LRS because it's cheap. And then, we were telling them, like, well, it's also way freaking better than the junk you guys are using too. So that'd be a side benefit as well.
Yeah, they're just getting frustrated at setting it up. I mean, again, it's hard to set up ELRS.
The setup sucks on that Express LRS. That's true.
And maybe it doesn't suck once you learn it, and like the process of it is probably a lot faster. But it's because it's so different than everything else that's been out there.
That is true.
I don't understand how to use it, and so I'm actually hoping that I've been asking around. You know, I just want to learn how to use that one. I tried to use it back at Castle Crash. Somebody tried to show me, and I bricked a unit, and that's when I was just like, nope, I'm gonna go back to Crossfire, something I know. But you know,
it's gotten a little bit better than it was too. Like in the first gen or two of things really were rough. Now they've gotten it
a little bit better and a little bit easier to use. Another guy had showed me he was connecting his, and it took him like 3 or 4 times to connect it. Like it just kept shutting him down, and like he's like, "No, I swear to God, it works." And I'm like, "Yeah."
I think great. There's like Crossfire or like DJI's control. There's other control links that are more like easy, just straightforward to use. That's for damn sure. But
But
I've been playing Crossfire for so long, you know, it's
See, like it's good. That would be the same thing with sort of the RC. You know, I was on that Facebook, and the question was like a large ducted, like a turbine aircraft, you know, like a large ducted fan jet, and he's wondering what the most robust control link was. But the suggestions were like Spectrum and FR Sky and stuff like that. It's like, man, you got like thousands of dollars.
Thousands, not like, and, like tens of thousands of dollars.
You got like several good control links between like Ghost or Crossfire or ELRS or, you know.
Dude,
there's several other choices that are probably way better.
Don't want to pay that extra $15 or $10.
Dude, ELRS is cheaper than Spectrum by like a lot.
Well, yeah, ELRS Crossfire. I mean, though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You're a Crossfire guy.
Yeah. Okay. No, well, I want to be an ELRS guy though. It is cheaper and it's just as good, you know. Yeah. So if I could learn it, I want to be. Trust me. Yeah. I don't want to be a Crossfire guy anymore.
Give it some time. I guarantee you that everybody's complaints about this will get through, and they'll find a
they will eventually get to a point where it's just like a click one button and you're done type of.
Yeah, you probably don't even have to hit a button on the drone. You just hit it on the controller.
Like I said, they're putting it in like all the tiny whoops now. So like if I want to, and I don't like soldering tiny whoops, so I'm just not going to build one, and I don't want to open one either because I'm afraid I'm just going to mess it up. So
I can always work on yours if you get one. I suggest them. If you live in Wisconsin, you almost have to have one because the weather sucks butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, did you see that building time video that I did with this little thing?
Did you do it recently?
Yeah, I posted it. I don't know if I posted it on Facebook or what I did with it. I think I posted it in the chat. Yeah.
I'll have to go check that one out.
But I drove that 222 building downtown Appleton with this little kid.
Yeah, nice.
It was fun.
Nice.
Man, it was cool. But like because the camera that I have in it is like absolute crap. It's 25 milliwatts. And so like flying 183 feet up, you know, in a crowded city, like the video is just like black and white, like just almost about to go out. And I'm just like diving down this thing like, please don't lose video because I'm just going straight down. But
that makes fun for an intense, fun video, though. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Is he gonna crash? Dude, I want to dive that CDW building downtown Appleton. It's like gold and slanted like this, man, and it's like golden windows. It looks so cool.
The one by the mall.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Well,
that building's awesome.
You flew that glass building that's over off the highway over here.
Park Place.
Yes, I fly that one all the time.
Yeah,
that was when I first was watching your videos, and I was like, on my YouTube channel, you can go back. It's like the second video of me ever flying like an actual self-built drone.
Yep.
I was flying at that building, And nice. And like I love watching the video because I'm just like flying and cruising in hover mode like a million feet up in the air, and then like I switch it into air mode and do a flip really quick, and then switch it back. It looks so fucking dumb. But
those really first flying videos are great, man.
Yeah, dude, it's so fun.
You realize how much progress you've made. But you remember, like, when you first are flying it, you're like so proud just to be able to not. Just like I'm in the air and I'm not crashing immediately.
I landed it at my feet this time. It didn't crash. But yeah, it was so fun. But when I saw your videos, I was like, no shit, he flies there too? Been doing this for years.
So actually the company that owns that place hired me to do a video for them of that place, and then they just kind of gave me permission to fly there whenever I want. So
well, if there's ever a broken window in there, it wasn't me. So
hey, I also take care of the landscape there too. So
that's where. So last summer I was flying there, and there's that big tall pine tree in front of their building.
Yep.
It's the tallest tree there. I fucking got my drone stuck at the top of that thing.
That's like a 45-foot pine tree, man. That thing's huge.
Dude. So I wrote it off. I tried, turtle moding it out. I tried everything. It would not go. My GoPro got ejected out of it. So I was like, fuck it. At least I got the GoPro. And I came home. And I told Rachel about it, and she was like, "Oh, let me go get it." And I'm like, "No, like you don't understand. It's like 45 feet up." And she was like, "No, let's go look at it." And I'm like, "All right." We get there, and she's looking at it. She's like, "Yeah, I can make that." And she starts fucking climbing the thing right away. And she gets all the way up there and throws the drone down and climbs back down. I'm like, "Holy shit, you have more balls than I do." Like I was just ready to write that thing off. So I took her out for dinner for that, but it was like. I can't believe she climbed that huge ass tree.
And that's the day you remember you found a good one.
Yeah, right? Getting me a FPV Quadroma tree.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is a fun spot though. It's a nice little flowy area. I like that spot. It's a good spot to test drones too. That's where I go to test my stuff. Yeah, I like that spot for sure. Nice little tree gaps and little building dive tree gaps and it's
across the highway from there. That's where I fly a lot at nighttime. It's
that hotel parking lot. Yeah,
and like that Community First.
Yeah.
Over there, is it Community First or I don't know what that one
is. That right behind it or is
right
that across the street from it?
Across the highway.
Across the highway that way.
Like the building's facing the highway, it's across the highway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's tough to find spots that are actually good in town, man. Have you ever been like told to get out of a spot yet?
Hell yeah. I just got told out of a spot or kicked out of a spot like 2 or 3 weeks ago when it was that video. It's one of the ones I posted where I was flying like all those cranes and stuff. Right? I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't get to see that one.
I was flying in the back of this warehouse. I don't even know what it was, to be honest with you. It just looked like a cool spot to fly, and there's cranes in the distance.
Oh, I did see that one. Yeah.
So like, I like take off for the parking lot, and like I parked my car in there, And so I'm standing in the parking lot, but I'm flying way away from the parking lot. I'm not even like really over it. I go over it like twice in the whole video. And I had a guy come up to me. I can see him as I'm like coming in to do another like trick. I see a truck pulling up to me. I'm like, oh fuck, what is this? So I land really quick, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, I pointed at my goggles and my drone. I'm like, I'm flying a drone, and he was like, "Well, this is private property. You can't do that here." And I'm like, "All right, I'll leave." He was like, "Did anybody tell you to come and do that?" And I'm like,
"Nope,
no,
I'm just playing with my toy, dude.
I'm just a hobbyist. I'm just flying for fun. But I'll leave. I'm not gonna."
Yeah, I'm not here to cause you. I'm just playing with my toy, bud.
Right. But that was the most recent one I've gotten kicked out of. I've gotten kicked out of hotels for flying tiny whoops. Or not kicked out of, but asked to stop for flying tiny whoops, like in the lobby and shit. But
that's awesome, girl.
Yeah, right. I want to go to Walmart.
People get like less edgy about that stuff as they get more accustomed to them. I mean, you're seeing like a bigger proliferation of them. I think you'll see less paranoia and stuff when people are just used to seeing them a lot.
Yeah, back in the day, it was kind of easier too because of analog video feed only being the way of doing this. It's I've had people come up to me and like think that I'm spying or something like that with a drone, and and it's like no, like here's I would always have a screen with me, and it's like here, look
I
at this.
think
This
where
is what
the
I'm
most
seeing. They're
negativity
like,
comes from. There are people
yeah,
that are worried about paranoid about privacy concerns or trespassing type of things, but
right. But they look at that staticky ass video that you could barely fly through, and they're like, "How do you even fly like this?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"Exactly." And I'm
they're
like,
no
I can't even
longer worried
see in
about
your damn windows. Like you have nothing to worry about.
Right.
You can't even see that damn tree over there until it's 10 feet away. But,
yeah. I don't know. I fly mainly parks, and I get a lot of interest in Appleton. Like people coming up, like, "Man, that thing's cool."
Oh yeah, I've had that too. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you always carry a screen with you. Always carry something that they can watch you.
Right.
And some plugs. Your business cards. I don't know if everybody still has their business cards of
Yep.
Blade Outlaw scanning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say I've seen more people that are interested in a positive way, like curious what they are, but
yeah,
I try to stay out of places where I feel like there's going to be some asshole that's going to come yell at me too, though,
Yeah. I guess I just overthink it sometimes. Like I just feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. Like I'm just flying, and I parked in a spot just to fly on this other side because there's no other spot to park.
Well, like technically you're not doing anything wrong most of the
No.
time. You're probably within the legally within the law.
Yeah, definitely. Is it? I don't know. I didn't post this video, but is it legal to building dive with a tiny whoop? Like, is that even a thing? I don't know that they get weird about like drones and buildings and stuff like that, but like I was like, man, this thing weighs.
Yeah, there's height restrictions, but technically the height restrictions follow the terrain. I think you can fly up. Like if you're a commercial operator, you could go inspect a tower, like an antenna or something, because that tower is like following the terrain more or less, as long as you're staying within a proximity of that tower.
Yeah.
As long as you're with a tiny whoop, though, I think you're.
So you're under the 250 grams.
Yeah,
so you don't need
20 grams.
You're probably
comes crashing
dive
down.
Anything you want, man, with that thing.
Right? Jeez. Yeah, when I was flying it around downtown, people didn't even notice it. What's that?
They got HD tiny whoops nowadays.
Yeah, I was just talking to Rachel about that too. Mm-hmm. The problem is that by the time you're done with that build, dude, you're at a $300 tiny whoop again, and it's like that again just makes me not want to buy it because you send these stupid things to the spots that like building diving and stuff like that, like spots that you're not really too worried about losing it or if it smashes. But I don't know. I don't want a $300 tiny whoop. I don't even like flying this thing in risky.
Well, but when you pay that much, though, you also get what you pay for. Like your video is gonna stay if you do that. That's gonna give you that long building dive that you wanted, and it's gonna stay in because you get a little bit more signal with those.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only I guess upside to it. So is that worth it to you? Like I don't know.
Is it worth the content?
Like going to a big city, it'd be worth it to me.
Yeah.
Finding like John Hancock building or the Sears Tower or something like that, that would be sweet. Good old 40-second dive.
I've seen guys tiny whoop dive with HD and all that stuff. It looks pretty good. I mean, the Pavo Pico, there is a guy that I watched do it with the Pavo Pico, but the problem with it is if you get aggressive at all with this drone, it does that shutter effect, like it just goes down, and it I'm my luck that will happen right when I'm trying to pull out of a 300-foot dive and it's gonna smash into the ground at Mach 2. So,
well, the like big ones, at least you can gradually. That's why you should just gradually pull out with tiny whoops. Don't last minute that thing.
Oh man, I last minute that shit in that video. I pulled up like 10 feet before the sidewalk.
I forgot to pull out. That's what I would title that one.
So, other than that, I guess, I mean, any new plans or anything like that for flying? I want to.
Yeah, actually, I'm down in Madison, and I've got this concrete plant that's been kicking my butt for the longest time, and I'm going to conquer that thing this weekend. So
yeah, with your new builds, dude. That's right. I was watching your videos, and you were having like issues with your drone, and like the cable snapped on your camera and stuff. When you're talking about that issue to begin with, though, was that a desync thing? Because when I was watching it, it looked like it like shuddered, right? And a lot of problems that I've had with new builds is the ESC, one of the ESCs would desync for like a split second and pick back up, and it happened at like low throttle input. Sometimes that's also like a throttle idle speed. So if the throttle idle speed is really, really low,
yeah,
and you cut your throttle down and then you go power out of it, it'll desync the ESCs for a second because they're not spinning on the same power level.
Well,
and
like so my tune, I just using a preset tune, and it's always worked for me. Like I've never had an issue with it.
Yeah.
And I just upgraded my gear, and actually it's supposed to be a lot better gear than what I was using. But I don't know right now. The jury's still out on that one. So I moved over to T-Motor, and like so that ESC is giving me an issue, and then I also have this flight controller, and I put it on this stack first, and it actually wasn't powering up at all. So I don't know what's going on there. So, and that was like I bought 2 different stacks, and so that was on both stacks I'm having issues. So I'm almost thinking about trying something different now already.
Yeah. Well,
but
with that one desyncing, just the least you could try to do that's an easy fix is just turn up your idle speed. Don't crank it through the roof or anything like that, but just gradually turn it up and see if that fixes it. It might be a band-aid if it's actually like a true problem. Are you running D-Shot 600?
Yeah.
Turn it down
to D-Shot 3.
Yeah. Just to try.
Yeah, I'll give that a shot. Actually, I normally run 300 too. I just put it on this time because I'm like, why the hell not?
Yeah.
So maybe that is my issue.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe do that before you adjust your idle speed because I feel like that could be an issue as well.
I'll give that a shot. That's actually a good idea. I didn't think about that. Freaking beta flight, man. It's like the hardest part of our hobby.
I know, and
there's a lot of stuff in there for sure.
Yeah. And
a lot of stuff that I don't know, man, and it's impressive half the stuff that these guys know about it.
Yeah,
I was talking to Fly High the other day, and he's like, "This hobby, we're all just a bunch of autistic guys." Yep. It's just
you gotta be a little bit to like make it through some of that stuff,
right? Just a bunch of whizzes.
If you're not willing to just suffer through it for hours or days at some points.
Yeah, you're gonna want to throw your quad against the room.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of struggle, but weirdly enough, I kind of like that struggle.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I like that too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's a more fulfilling like reward than just like an instantaneous thing. When you finally get it, you're like,
you feel like
that.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this thing is actually fun. Right.
Worth it, you know?
Right. The problem that gets me is that it's freaking expensive sometimes, and like so when you can literally program or build something wrong or screw up a little when you're soldering, and just there goes $200. There goes $100. It's like fuck, and a week of or 2 weeks of waiting.
Soldering's nerve-wracking when you're not good at it, and just
I always use a short saver. I don't mess around anymore, and
Yeah.
I don't like that magic smoke. So
yeah, you had that in front of me at one point too. The first time we went flying, you plugged in your shit and went smoked. I was like, oh shit! I haven't seen magic smoke in a long time.
Yeah, I plugged it into a short saver. It was fine, and I plugged it in at home. It was fine, and then I plugged it in with you. And as soon as I throttled up,
it was weird because you had tones and everything. It sounded like ESCs were firing okay, and
it fired right up like normal. That was a really weird one. So that was kind of when I decided I wanted to move over on electronics and got kind of burnt out on night flight. But, and so I figured I'd run that AOS 5 into the ground, and I did it in that very last video that I posted with that one. So,
yeah. So, and the other thing that I would tell you too right away, just because you said that you put it at 600, D-Shot 600,
Yep.
There's other tunes obviously that you can do, like PIDs and all that stuff like that.
I'm stuck with that one, bud. Well, you ain't gonna talk me into a different one.
No, I'm not talking you to tune. I'm not talking you to a different one, but I'm talking you into something less aggressive when you first start flying. When you first build it and you're going to do a test fly, you should test fly it with. I
like to test with that too. No, like I like to test with the tune that I use, bro. That's what it is, though. That's you know. I like my things a certain way, like very set. I'm OCD about that. It's just that's the way I am. So I don't like trying different things because then it puts my flying off. I like my flying a certain way, you know.
Yeah.
Every time I start tweaking things, I start messing things up, and I tried doing that with my rates recently, and it messed me completely up.
Oh yeah, rates can mess you up too. I mean, I fly so many different types of drones, and I like to say that I have a versatility of picking up anything and flying it. But like, I just would say I'm only saying the tune thing because if you're putting like crazy PIDs on a computer or on a board that isn't tweaked to those PIDs, but it's tweaked to someone else's board.
No, I'm flying high performance boards right now. T-Motor is high performance.
I'm not saying it's not high performance. I'm saying that everything responds differently.
It's what Superfly flies, though, is what I'm saying. It's what he recommended. Like, I talked to the developer of that PID.
With the same board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that's what he developed it for. And then he's got frames that I'm actually buying too for this PID. Like, I'm all in on that, man.
Yeah.
It worked amazing with my AOS 5. Like, it changed how I flew almost. So, like, there's a reason why I like it so much.
Yeah.
And I keep, like, really standing a point on it. It's a great PID, but he's also a developer for Betaflight, so.
Right.
Yeah, man. To each his own.
Yeah. Seth is probably never going to touch a PID at all. He's probably just going to send
aggressive. I don't do my own tuning anymore either, man. I just slap preset on my race drones too.
Yeah, I guess for the most part preset stuff too. But yeah,
I'm not going to mess with it.
I guess with my 7-inch, I'm running some other guy's tune. That's a custom tune, but with my 5-inch, they got one called a karate tune. That's what almost all 5-inch racers put on theirs now. I mean,
I've seen that one in Betaflight. That karate tune.
That's the hot one for 5-inch.
I was wondering what that was for. Racing. So I was wondering.
It's the guy's name. I think it's he's a developer too, but he goes by Karate Brat, I think. So it's the karate tune, or I don't quote me on that, but I think that's maybe where they got that name from.
Where do racers usually set their rates at? Is that lower?
Yeah, normally it's pretty low.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
Like 300 is what I heard.
Holy cow, that's really, really
Between
low. But
that makes sense. If I think like Min Chan Kim and some of like the really like top performers, they might get up to like about 700.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know. You're seeing a trend towards a little bit higher rates now, but higher rates are like 500 to 600. Like 600 still, like you got to be like top pro level to be using more than 600 in racing. But their goal is to always be using the maximum throw of their sticks. You know, they're not really hanging out like in the center very much. They want that maximum for the most resolution.
Yeah.
It's a different tuning style too, you know, like a lot of I use asymmetrical rates and a lot of guys do. So I run like 600 roll, 500, maybe like probably 600 roll, maybe like 450 pitch and maybe 300 yaw, something like that.
Dang, that's a slow yaw. I think my yaw is just attached faster, but maybe that's a freestyle thing though.
When you're racing, you got that thing stood up. Your roll is 90%.
Yeah.
Control yaw almost makes you kind of look like arc from the ground to the sides, because your camera's pointed down. It doesn't have like a lot. So there's a lot of racers that say they don't like use yaw hardly at all.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I don't use too much of it either. Like I use it as it's a weird. Like when I yaw, it doesn't turn my craft. I use it more like when I'm doing a descending flagpole. So if I'm doing a descending orbit, I kick yaw in, and that helps my quad drop. It's not really even about like, it's not a turn so much as it functions as sort of gets your quad to drop faster. But that's only when your quad's like standing up, like at a severe angle.
Right. Just zipping, yeah.
I think I want you to teach me some racing moves like that so I can, learn some of that. So I have like that big gate, that I got. Yeah. I have the big gate. I bought, another flag, which they sent me a $20 coupon. These flags are $17. And so for some reason, they sent me a $20 coupon with this one for Amazon. So I'm going to buy another one for free.
But, I want to get a Rupert one, man. Those things are actually pretty cool.
I'll send you the link. Yeah. I'm just using it on Amazon. It's so cheap. And then like, you can buy the poles for them, but they're like $50. Oh. I'm just using PVC piping, and it's not like, it's a little janky, but it works pretty good.
Right.
But I think we bought another pole today, and it was $17 for the new one that came in, so super cheap. But I think we could use those to kind of refine a little bit of like, our turns and stuff like that. Maybe you can teach us some of that. It would be a good thing for Seth to kind of learn too. When we go out tomorrow, Seth and I are going to hit some gates and stuff. So
awesome.
There's a new thing for him. There's definitely probably some stuff I can teach you guys. Like we could do some flying in the sim sometime too. Is actually really a good way to experiment with some of that, because you can make rate changes so quickly, where like you're not like plugging in a pack and then dabbling on a computer for half an hour in another pack. You could have a discussion with someone and like talk about what you're doing, and then make instantaneous changes and talk about like what did this change affect, and why.
Right.
Be a good one to do sometime when it's bad weather out. Do a sim day.
Yeah, if we do that in person too sometime to hit some gates, I'll probably just use a freestyle quad, but we have to be careful with freestyle quads. They're not really, like, I have a 45 amp ESC, and they're not really good to just sit and pin the throttle, especially on 4S, because actually 4S seems to have more amperage draw than anything. It's better to have 6S, but so we won't be able to like, go balls to the wall whipping around these flags, but we'll be able to go pretty quick and learn how you move it. And you'll teach us how to move it.
Right.
What camera angle do we set to?
Most racers, like street league racers, are typically almost all right around 45 degrees.
Oh, that's double.
5-inch racers sometimes are getting closer to probably like 48 to 50 degrees a lot of the times. So it's 50
would get weird because that like changes like your roll and your
right. See, that's why you don't need yaw anymore, because you're
Seth, forget about trying to land in your 20 degrees.
Grab my frame here.
Oh, do we have chats here? Sorry.
So this is
I seen him pop in.
This is one of my 5-inch open racers, and that's got a 48 degree. So when you're gunning her, she's got, it's got an angle like that.
Yeah.
Roll is like 90%. And like, if yaw is like almost doing like this. So like,
that's so weird.
Basically, yaw ain't hardly doing nothing. That's what I mean. So when I'm doing a flag maneuver and I'm turning really hard with roll, when I yaw,
it throws
it kind of rotates it, and I'm not really even sure what it does, but when you do this rotating movement in a hard turn, it causes your quad to drop.
Well,
it doesn't cause
I think of it as like a wing.
Anymore.
Yeah, if it's like a wing, it's causing it to kind of knife. If you have the momentum going this way, turning it this way, it's gonna
like
dip
the air current or something, and it just boom, you just go down.
Yeah. Oh man.
So it's kind of a weird. It reminds me of like the way it's a weird way to describe it, but you like when you think of like monster trucks, they got the front wheel and the rear wheel steering. I sort of see my yaw stick as like the rear wheel steering of my quad, like, so for most of the time I'm just using my one stick, but if I want to like dump the back end out, that's when I like kick yaw in.
Wow.
You could think of it as like a drift car, like when you pull the e-brake, I use yaw sort of to like initiate like an orbit to sort of get the back end to wash when I want it to too. That's more the function of yaw for like a racer. Otherwise, it's like 90% roll. I mean, you just see my roll stick go like hardcore one way or the other.
Huh. Yeah,
and you don't like racers don't use as much pitch either because you're just trying to cruise mostly on a flat track. So I think a lot of freestyle pilots could probably benefit from dropping just pitch, because you just don't use pitch not nearly as much as you think you do. And what pitch does is make elevation really hard to maintain. If you drop your pitch, like just try for an experiment sometime. Leave all your other rates the same, but drop your pitch down to like 300, man. You'll be able to skim the ground like an arrow, like a bullet, because you have so much control of your altitude then.
Hey, Turtle, Shotgun wants to know if you're coming tomorrow.
I would like to, but I'm just kind of have a busy weekend here. We're gonna head down to Indianapolis to see the eclipse on Monday, so I'm gonna be heading out. We're gonna be driving early Sunday morning, so I'm kind of getting things ready with my girlfriend and stuff. I would have loved to come down though.
Is that a race or?
Yeah, I think
we haven't invited him into this group.
Oh, Shotgun FPV, yeah, that's
he's a good pilot.
They're down at Bladed Fury.
Oh,
that's kind of in southern Wisconsin. That's the biggest race team. I think they're starting their season up this weekend. Their outdoor season.
Yeah,
they got a barn there. They do an indoor barnstormer season in the winter.
I watched Shotgun's video on that. I watched his video.
Yeah, that's
pretty
crazy actually, man. There's like an intense racing environment.
Yeah,
they say it's brutal, like because there's a heated pilot area, but the barn is frozen and it's all hardwood. And they say if you learn how to like turn tight around things, because if you overshoot, you hit that cold wall and
I've seen him ripping an awesome glow course in there, man, and he tore it up. It was it was an awesome video to watch. It's fun. Those little whoops, man, I can't control them worth a crap, especially when I put them into manual mode. Like I try to, I cheat.
Yeah.
Dude,
I've been getting to freestyle mine a little bit more, just because I'm just to the point where it's like it's so easy to fix, and I've had this thing hit the ground so hard before, and it breaks the frame, and that's it. And the frame is $4, so it's been fun. Oh, there he is.
The barn teaches you quickly.
Yeah. So Seth, what I was gonna say is, let me see your camera angle, because you know how it's kind of hard to land because the camera's a little up and it looks like you're looking at the sky, Seth?
It's not up that far.
Yeah. So they're talking about what we're talking about is 50 degrees, Seth. And like at that point when you come in for a landing, it's a pray to Jesus moment, because like you're just looking at the sky and you can see the trees, and that's about it. You're just gonna disarm and you're probably gonna be 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah, no waves.
But
racers pretty much come in like at like half throttle and just crash.
Yeah, pretty much.
At race, they paint like a big yellow spot on the ground. Once you're flying towards that spot, you can just disarm and you'll hit that spot eventually.
Yeah, that's why a DRL has nets at the end of the finish there. Just catch these things.
Yeah, you get pretty good at it after a while, but yeah, there's not much visual reference though.
Did you guys see that F1 thing where they chase the F1 car around, going around the track?
I saw a little bit of it. It was pretty damn impressive, actually. I thought it was going to be sort of gimmicky, like, oh, big deal, another like silly fast drone, but that thing it really was fast for a long time.
Yeah, and like there's 2 points behind it though. Like the camera is it's on a gimbal, right? Just like the DJI FPV. And there was a guy that had like a foot pedal that was controlling the camera. That's what they said in the background of this. And so like to change the camera angle, they would constantly be changing, you know. So like if they would slow down before a corner, then they would change the camera angle so the drone could stop without, you know, it becoming out of frame.
Interesting. I didn't know all that.
Yeah. I mean, racing doesn't
when
really
you have that big of a speed difference, you know, you're gonna have a huge angle change.
Yeah. But they also, to get the range that they needed, they had repeaters on Mavericks. So like there was like 3 DJI Mavericks flying around, and there was a repeater like on it that would repeat the signal as it got to different parts of the tracks. So it's just kind of crazy to think that there's like 10 people involved. Like there's 2 people or 3 people flying drones. There's a dude controlling the camera, and like the actual pilot, all trying to make this work together, you know, for a 2-minute and 40-second race, you know. But I don't know. That'll be a cool thing. It's kind of interesting to see what's going to come from that, because the speed of it is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty cool ones in some of these mountain bike races where I don't know where they host them, but these guys are crazy. They race these mountain bikes down these little like village alleyways.
This was the same guys.
Downhill terrain and
yeah, it was the same guys that
but they're such long courses, you know. It's impressive that they're able to maintain the video link, and I think they have like multiple antennas and stuff to be able to do it. But like they pull some long shots.
Runs. Yeah. One of the guys that is known, or the team that's known for doing those mountain bike runs, is the one that did this whole F1 thing. This was their next one up. So it's kind of cool to see them implement that.
But well, I don't mean to be rude, guys, but I actually got to get going. I'm at my brother's house visiting him, so I wanted to pop in and at least, you know, pop in for the stream for a bit. But
yeah, I think we're gonna wind it down anyway. It's already been an hour, so
awesome. Well, so I hope you guys have an awesome week, and like I said, I'll see you on Sunday, bro, when I bring over that footage to post anyway.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so make sure you get your copy of it too. Just get something for Rachel to edit and throw on the YouTube. We're right now. This week has been hitting the algorithm decently. Like we keep going up in subscribers and views.
I seen that, man. Yeah, you guys are hitting like crazy. Like it's hitting like crazy right now. That's awesome, man. I'm glad.
I wish I knew why, but I mean. It's also posting content, and these streams and everything helps. We get like 1,300 listens on our Spotify thing. I don't think I uploaded our last podcast on it, but that helps bring people over too. But
Shotgun says he's glad he caught one of these lives finally.
Yeah, definitely. Shotgun, they're on Spotify. Look up Blade Outlaws on Spotify. You can listen to pretty much all of them, unless we talk about like what was our last one? It was Seth playing. The flight sim, and like we didn't talk too much during that.
Oh yeah.
We were like, this is pointless to upload as a podcast. Like you have to have video for this.
Yeah. That's funny.
Too funny. All right, guys. Well, take care, man.
Yep. Happy flying.
Yep. Take care.
Yeah. Good talking to you guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching, Seth. Sorry you didn't get to talk too much as well. I'm going to play the ending video, and we'll talk more. Alrighty? Maybe we'll get some videos from... Oh, wow, I don't know why that happened. We'll get some videos from tomorrow, so it'll be cool. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching, and check us out on Spotify. We are on that. If people did not know this, we are on Spotify. One last comment here. Sweet. Peace. Alrighty. Oh, no. I'm trying to do the last thing here. Where is it? There we go.
Rachel from Blade Outlaws. We'd like to thank Turtle Mode FPV for sponsoring our video. Please be sure to check out the 7-inch heavy metal spec racing frame on turtlemodefpv.com and the YouTube channel at Turtle Mode FPV. Thank you.